All right, good Friday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice program here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Good morning to those of you tuning in. You can see my handsome young guest sitting across from me here at the table. He's I still got the toboggan on. Oh well. His name is Keith West. He is the brand spanking new Carroll County Election Supervisor. Was appointed in middle December by Carroll County Commission Chairman Michelle Morgan. There's another position that was appointed at that same time. I think we probably talk about that a little bit. But the important thing for our program this morning, I mean, we'll do a little elections 101, but we have some elections coming up very quickly, rapidly approaching that we want to talk about. There's new maps. If you were in District 30, if you're in the southern portion of Carroll County and you believe that Senate District 30 is your state senator, who was Michael Dugan up until the earlier part of this year. Again, if you're in the southern part, there's a good chance you're not in District 30 anymore, and I believe that's District 6.
Yes, it is.
Now, it used to be, Matt Brass, who was District 28, is currently that senator, but they changed the number. So a lot of things to talk about. Talk about the upcoming election for Congress and all that good stuff. My name's Colin Worthington. My guest is Keith West. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and it's good to be here.
Absolutely. A local businessman, you.
Yes.
You've been on this program before. You probably had more fun because Josh was hosting. But, yes, of course, Josh. But this morning we have a real important business to talk about. First of all, prior to your appointment, Greg Rigby, he retired and had to find somebody to fill that out. I've got this question. I want to ask you if you'd had any idea that you're going to have 52 races in 2024 to deal with, would you have accepted this job?
I would have questioned it more, but I do appreciate a challenge, and I do think that we need the administrative background that I have to try to pull everything together. I may not be able to handle the elections as well, but fortunately we've got one of our retirees has come back and is leading us through that.
Isn't that great? She's all right. She's a keeper, that Carroll.
Yeah, yes, she is. And we appreciate that. That's been great, and it's good for the voters as they hear a familiar voice. Sometimes when she gets to answer the phone. Got a lot on our plate right now, just trying to move forward with these elections and this special election that was put in recently.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's first talk about the maps. We had new maps drawn after the census, 2020 census, and in 2021 they were made official. I guess, but we'll show that. We'll show that in a second.
Okay.
But the initially the newly created maps 2021. Now those were challenged in court, and the judge said, "Hey, you do need to make some changes." And I hope people listening and watching this program do understand that process anyway. Why it was ordered by the judge. So those were changed, and those were approved in late November, December.
The final approval for the maps.
Yeah,
we got notice December 29th.
Okay, so they were officially approved at that point. And now with this election for the District 30 Senate seat, and we'll talk about how we got there. Mike Dugan, District 30 State Senator, announced his resignation. He's going to run for Congress, Georgia Congress. So like 2 or 3 days later, the governor said, "Hey, you guys are going to have a special election on February the 13th.
Yes.
He said qualifying is going to be in like 4 or 5 days. So that was a big, had to be a surprise for you guys. 3-day qualifying period ended on Wednesday afternoon. People had to go to the state camp, to the state to qualify for that race. So we'll talk about that first race. We had qualifying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. The race is going to be February 13th. Early voting is going to be a 3-week period before then, which actually starts a week from this coming Monday, a week from Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday. The early voting will start. So that's 1 week from now. And we initially thought there was a possibility that we'd be using the old maps for this first race and then new maps for the second race. But luckily, either way, it's going to be a challenge to get the word out to people. Luckily, they're going to use the same maps for both of these races that are coming up this year. And for people, we need to have people understand that there will be 2 races for this District 30 Senate seat this year. Let us talk about those new maps and what precincts are affected. Again, we have 30 precincts in Carroll County. Is that correct?
29.
29 total in Carroll County, but only 16, 17, and 18 of those are going to be part of the District 30 Senate seat.
We've got 18, and these are the ones that are part of the District 30 right now. Bethany, Bonner Rec Center, Mount Holly, Bowden Junction, Carroll EMC, Center Point, Neva Lomason, Fairfield, Mars Hill, Hewlett. There were some name changes in here. When I say Mars Hill Hewlett, it used to be called Hewlett. Now it's Mars Hill. So more confusion. Lakeshore Rec Center, Mount Zion, Midway Church used to be called Sand Hill, Tabernacle, Temple City, Temple County, Villarica City, Villarica North, Villarica South, and West Carrollton. I want to clarify something because early on we were looking at this and we thought the lines followed the city limits of Carrollton. There is one precinct that's in the city limits that is not a part of the 30.
It's a pretty big one, too.
It is. It's the one that votes at University of West Georgia. And while I'm there, let's go ahead and say Z6 is in the middle of construction or starting construction, reconstruction. So it will be held at the Townsend Center when we do vote. But it is in the 6th. Everything else, every other part of the city of Carrollton is in the 30th.
So if you are in that 6th district, and you can see the maps up on our Facebook page right now. So if you're in your car, go back and look at this on Facebook later on today so you can see that map. But if you are in the 6th, you will not be voting in February. You're not voting February 6th. You're not early voting on the 22nd of January or whatever. You're going to hold off until the presidential preference primary.
That's the first one, first opportunity to vote.
And you'll have the opportunity to vote for District 6 in May of this year, correct? If you live in District 6, Senate District 6.
Yes.
Now, as far as the House, the State House seats, we've got Tyler Paul Smith in one corner, we've got Huddleston, Jay Collins, even a little bit of Lynn Smith.
Yes.
Is that it? But the House that did not change at all?
It did not change at all. The Senate district is all that changed.
Okay. So, yes, we're just probably going to beat that to death over the next 2-3 weeks because, I was encouraged, and I was like, come on, you think you get 30% of the vote out for this one, right, for the Senate?
We'd love to because our whole position is to get as many to vote as possible.
And we have 5 people that did qualify.
We do.
And that ended at like 12 noon on this past Wednesday. 5 people. And it looks like we've got people from every nook of that District 30. Now, District 30 did the old District 30 to the new District 30 maps. It shifted north and east. It kept all of Haralson County, again, south or bottom portion of Carroll County, as we've discussed over and over again. Went up to Paulding County for just a little nook, and then I think there's a little bit in Douglas County, too, for that District 30. But who did qualify this week, Keith?
Who did qualify? Tim Bearden. And then we have Renee Bell, Ashley Godwin, Amber Nixon, and Bob Smith.
And this is a nonpartisan race for this special election. But then again, qualifying will begin for District 30 Senate race again in March. Is that
yes?
Okay, and that'll be for the race to decide who will be the state senator for District 30 beginning the year 2025 and 2026.
Yes.
Sound good? Well,
yeah, I'm having to think through this. There's a lot. There's a lot. So that's one of the reasons we're here today is that we're trying to make as much communication as we can. Because it's difficult for us to follow, and we have to be very detailed about this. And I know it's difficult for the voting public to follow.
For the special election early voting, is it just going to be one location, or are you going to have 2 locations eventually? We
are going to have just one location. It's going to be at the election office at 997 Union Road.
Okay. And how about on Saturday? Any Saturday?
2 Saturdays. The first 2 Saturdays we will.
And it was important. Again, it's important for us to let people know about these precinct changes, these no polling place changes, though, right? Except for UWG might have a polling place change.
Yes, that will be for the presidential primary. Will be the first time they'll vote there,
right? Because
they're not in this. 6. Yeah,
Whew, a lot of stuff to deal with, Keith. We're going to take our first break. If you're watching this on Facebook, I encourage you to post any questions or comments you have to the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. I'll look and see if we can get those questions out for you, because there may be something that, again, this is pretty jumbled. There may be something that I'm forgetting to ask Keith about, or he probably wants to get to, but I need to lead him into it. So feel free to do that. News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Time right now is 8:40. It is Friday. Be weather aware, as they say, for this later this morning and early afternoon, is to get the potential for some severe weather. We'll keep you posted on all that. If we come across a time today where there is a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado watch together happening at the same time, I believe our plan is to go live on all of the Grattan Communications radio stations to update you on the weather at that particular time. We'll come back with more Community Voice after this.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com and this morning on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Keith West. He is Carroll County's brand new elections supervisor and kind enough to join us this morning. We're trying to get everybody ready for the upcoming elections. I mean, it's potential for several. We didn't even mention the chance for a runoff in this District 30 race. People have to go back to the polls too. There's 5 people running for that race.
There are 5 people running, and if that were to happen, and the possibilities are strong, that because they got a 50% plus one. One candidate has to, and then we'll go into the March presidential primary with a simultaneous race.
So it'll be at the same time.
It would be at the same time on March 12th.
But you have to do separate ballots and things, right?
We have to do separate ballots, separate machines. The county's only purchased so many machines, so it's going to make
separate machines. So we would go in that same day and vote on one machine for the presidential preference, and we have to go to another machine.
Yes. It's my understanding.
Yeah. What's this cost the county, Carroll County, for any time there's a special election and then you've got the early voting and everything?
All right, I'm an accountant, so this is one of the things I had to gravitate to. I had to give the chairman kind of an estimate, and based on previous elections and things like that, it's going to be in excess of $50,000
per race,
just for this one special election.
Yeah, and that includes the early voting as well.
Yes, that would include the early voting as well.
And that includes, most of the volunteers. You get mostly volunteers working that, I guess, right?
Volunteers, but they are.
You do have employees, yeah.
Well, they are paid. They're paid volunteers. Okay. They're volunteering for it, but it's a minimum. Yeah. Pay. It's just something to give them a little bit of money for doing their public service.
Do you have open spots for volunteers for this early advanced?
We do. We're still working on that. All this came down. This is a long train that has a lot of cars that have to be dispersed. So we're working on that. And matter of fact, Carroll and I talked about this yesterday afternoon, and that's going to be the focus over the next couple of days. We had to focus first of all on the redistricting. We had to go through and reconnect all the 6th district, all the residences that were in the 30th district to the 6th district. Mm-hmm. So there's a process in and of itself in the redistricting. We have to have that done by next Wednesday for the Secretary of State. I think we're on course to be fine with that. Again, we've got some staff. We brought a contractor in. Will Hobson's come in as
yeah, let's talk about Will a little bit too, if you don't mind. He came in just with you same time as you. It was announced about the same
simultaneously.
Time. Looks like he's about 12 years old.
Yes, he does. But a very smart young man. I've known his family for a long time, so there is a personal connection there. But Will and I have never been around each other a lot. But he is very smart. He's catching on quickly. Carolyn has led him through, and his responsibilities are what hers were before she retired.
Carolyn's not getting out of this year, is she? She's going to have to stick around with you guys.
I'm not going to put that on the radio because she's probably listening.
Yeah.
She and I both don't know how that's going to play out.
Mm-hmm. We talked about volunteers a second ago, so and you could use a few more. So what if Joel Brock, our camera guy, wanted to come in and volunteer? What would that process
Just contact the registration, the elections office, elections and registration office, and we will send you out a packet and get that application in and process it.
And since early voting will be just in one place, you're probably going to need more for election day. How many volunteers do you need to at each polling place? You try to get 3 or 4 or 5 if somebody can work all day long?
It's probably going to take a minimum of 6 for any one polling place. And some of the larger ones will take 8 to 10.
So we're looking at 6 times 18.
Yeah, I didn't bring those numbers with me.
6 times 7, 18 like that. Okay. For people maybe just joining us right now, let's go back and revisit what the new Senate District 30 looks like. If you want to vote for Senate, and you're going to find out, we'll remind you who lives in District 30 here right now, because the maps did change. And the new maps will be used for this special election, which is coming up February the 13th, again with 3 weeks prior early voting. And the new maps will be used in later on this year, towards the later on this spring, for the when you go back to the polls to vote for District 30 Senate seat again. Remind us who is in District 30. This is just Carroll County. In the Senate District 30, what are the precincts?
The precincts that are in District 30 at this point is Bethany.
Wait a minute. At this point, you're making me sound like we could change.
And you alluded. Well, we're dealing with the legislature.
Okay.
Okay. So I won't say much more than that. But this whole process, and you can't put it on the legislature totally because they're.
That's Mike Dugan's fault.
Yeah. I told him that yesterday, and then told him I was kidding.
Yeah.
But it's a number of different things that have happened that have led us down this path. But we never know how they're going to restructure these things because there's so many challenges to how districting is done. Mm-hmm. I'm not a half full or half empty glass guy. We're halfway. And it could go either way. And I got to be prepared for either way.
You just need to get this done, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the deadline. Before you list all those polling places in there, and you may have already said this, I just want to verify it. On the southern portion of District 30, where we have the Catherine, Hardy, West Carrollton, Mount Zion precincts, the size didn't change. It's not like those precincts, they changed by a street or anything like that. They're the exact same size. So if you lived in those... If you voted at those polling places, then you will continue to vote there.
Yes.
Okay. And again, you'll be in District 30. However, if you're south of that, you will not be in District 30 anymore. So you want to verify all that before Election Day comes up. Want you to go out and vote. Definitely encourage everybody to go out there and do that. But let's talk about, one more time, let's remind everybody what the actual polling places, the precincts in State Senate District 30 are at this point.
All right. I said currently. This is where we are at this point, and this is going forward. These are the precincts that will vote for the District 30 Senate race: Bethany, Bonner Rec Center, Mount Holly, used to be Bowden Junction, Carroll EMC, Center Point, Neva Lomason Library, Fairfield, Mars Hill Hewlett, Lakeshore Rec, Mount Zion Midway Church, Midway Church used to be Sand Hill, Tabernacle, Temple City, Temple County, Villarica City, Villarica North, Villarica South, and West Carrollton.
And for Carroll County residents, that's what we're talking about right now, is the Carroll County portion that's affected with this shift of the map for State Senate District 30. If you did not mention your precinct just now, then you are in the new District 6, which is currently being represented by Matt Brass. I believe he'll seek re-election this year. Matt's been the District 28 senator for several years, but that the District 28 shifted north a little bit and then just magically became District 26. We'll take our final break right now, and again, any questions or comments that you want to post to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, feel free to do that. I hope we're getting some information out there, and we'll be repetitive. Want to make this a big deal so that people aren't surprised come election day. And I've seen this happen for the last decade. People will know there's an election coming up on a certain day, and they'll show up at the polling place. They'll show up to vote at the Carroll County Elections Office. Number one, on Election Day, nobody votes at the Carroll County Elections Office. But number two, they'll be voting for a municipal race. They'll be wanting to come to vote for a municipal race when they live in the county. So hopefully we can get a lot of that information out this morning to save everybody a waste of time and encourage everybody who can vote to go out there and vote for this special election. Again, it's coming up February the 13th, State Senate District 30, which was held by Mike Dugan until about 2 weeks ago, as he resigned to run for Congress. And we have 5 people who have qualified to run for that race. Hope to have them on the show, each of them before. I think we've already had one. Yeah, we had Tim Bearden on the show already. But we'll try and have the other 4 candidates on the program in the coming weeks so we can introduce you to all of these candidates. Final break right now. 8:51 Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The customized academic scholar journey at Oak Mountain Academy is individually designed to provide students with a personalized, clearly defined academic track that earns the student a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically driven students to pursue a focused, rigorous course of study personalized to their wants and desires. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Carroll County Elections Supervisor Keith West. Hope we're giving you a lot to chew on this morning and think about as we have first election of 2024 coming up. It was a surprise to most people. It'll be February the 13th. It's for the State Senate District 30 seat, previously held by Mike Dugan. Got 5 people qualifying for that race. Again, District 30 up until the end of last year, District 30 covered all of Carroll County, and then some changes were made. So now it's only half of Carroll County, still all of Haralson County. It's a little bit of Douglas County and a wee bit of Paulding County as well. Keith, one thing I wanted to get out to you is there enough time for people to, if they want to do absentee ballots, like if you have a son who lives in Florida but still has a Carrollton address, can they get that done?
Yes, absolutely. You can come out of the election office, get an absentee ballot form. You can do it online, request an absentee ballot form for this election. There is a spot to say, what election are you wanting to get an absentee ballot? We have it going simultaneously right now. You're open to do absentee ballots for the March 12th election, which is your presidential primary. And you have an opportunity to do February 13th election, which is the Senate District 30.
Is it best just for us to focus on that portion right now, and we'll just come back and talk for another half hour about the next election as they approach, just so we can get this one out? Because it would be a shame. I mean, if you get 5-10 people to come out and say, "Oh, I didn't know this was the election," or "I didn't know this was coming up," I mean, that's a bummer.
And I think that's one of the questions that have been raised about this election and how fast it's come about. It's been a surprise to us. Even if I had been in position as the supervisor earlier in December, I came on December 18th. We didn't anticipate it. The people I've talked to did not anticipate it. The other counties, which in some cases are much larger, did not anticipate it. And it's been kind of a regroup and start over and running back-to-back elections. And then on top of that, the second election, the presidential primary, if there is a runoff, it makes it more complicated too. So there are a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, then we will. At this this point, we'll just kind of beat that to death as far as the February 13th election. Again, 3 full weeks of early voting before that.
Yes.
And again, District 30 here in Carroll County is just like the southern portion of Carroll County. I was going to say they're kind of even as far as the numbers, but I think there's more land that's in District 6, but maybe District 30 is more top-heavy with population.
And that's my assumption as to how they drew the line. Was they needed the numbers, the demographics and the numbers to change.
And one more time before we get out of this program, let's cover what the District 30 State Senate precincts are for the new District 30 State Senate race, and these are in effect right now. They are for the race. It's one special election on February the 13th. Locally, it's only for the District 30 race. It's, none of these other races, no other local senator or House member or city or county will be on the ballots on February the 13th. Just this one single race. It'll be for for House, State, Senate, District 30. Covers all of Haralson County, covers half of Carroll County, a little bit of Douglas County, a little bit of Paulding County. And as far as Carroll County, these are the precincts. So one more time for me, Keith, if you don't mind.
Okay. We have Bethany, Bonner Rec Center, Mount Holly, what used to be Bowden Junction, Carroll EMC, Center Point, Neva Lomason, Fairfield, Mars Hill, previously known as Hewlett, Lakeshore Rec Center, Mount Zion, Midway Church, used to be known as Sand Hill, Tabernacle, Temple City, Temple County, Villarica City, Villarica North, Villarica South, and West Carrollton. Colin, I wanted to also give this thought. Once we complete the redistricting in the elections office and the Secretary of State's office approves our redistricting application, then what will happen is you will be able to look on this website, www.mvp.sos.ga.gov, and you will be able to look up. It's my vote, and you'll be able to look up the precincts you are in. So if you've got a question, we have to have this done, and they have to have it processed by the 22nd. So that's a safe bet. Then after that, you can find it there.
Find it, yeah. So again, a lot of moving parts here. So that will be available the first day of early voting. So if you're not sure if you're in that precinct or not, maybe you'll wait till Tuesday to vote. But that will be available via that MVP SOS thing on that Monday.
One other thing was the chairman is having these maps, the maps that we put on the Facebook page this morning. Those are going to be in the next couple of days in the city halls of every town and in the public libraries. So you can go there and look at that and see if your street is in the 6th or the 30th.
Very nice, good. And also, if you go back and watch this program on the Facebook page, just screenshot the map, because I think Joel put that up there several times throughout this program, so you can screenshot that and put it in your pocket so you know what district you're in. Keith, good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you.
And thanks for coming on the show this morning. And
glad to be here.
Thank you for watching and listening to this morning's Community Voice program. Next week, I think we have a full day of all brand new, or a full week of brand new shows. I know on Wednesday I'm going to interview a gentleman and talk about the history of some government in Carroll County, how it's changed over the last 20, 25 years. And then on Friday of next week, we've got Michelle Morgan, Carroll County Commission Chairman, and Terry Langley will be in studio together. So tune in for those programs at least. And I'm sorry, I can't remember who the other ones are at this point. So anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Community Voice has been brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.